Coin, Bad Boy Halo plushies, along with various others, would not only be the last things released in June of 2021, but also the last products that have free shipping, and starting on July 1st, shipping will now be priced at $5. With the first release under this new rule was the fourth meme, and business continued as usual, and many other content creator toys for people like the Hot Ones and Danny in September of 2021 started with Shrek and Donkey. Other than more content creators like Vanoss and Crumb, a wave of Family Guy, Rick from Pawn Stars, more memes, and Godzilla vs. Kong. I actually am Godzilla if you guys didn't know.
No, the fuck you're not.
Don't kill my dreams!
First wave of the new Twos figures for Crank gameplays would release, which were smaller versions of the normal figures, and also the first Twosies related product would release, being a strawberry lemonade drink. But then there's October of 2021. Wave of Lamamber products would start things off, which would actually be helped out by the community. After a few more YouTubers and Back to the Future toys, on the 22nd, the big bad happened.
In the later half of October through December of 2021, many brand-related products for Avatar, SpongeBob, and Attack on Titan were released, with the most significant release being for 5 were the last products released for 2021. And that is almost everything that was released in 2021, and I need to go vomit again.
Dude, I gonna go record him.
Oh come on, is that really necessary?
For the amount of shit he's putting us through, definitely.
Okay, well, YouTubes were very successful. How successful, you may ask? Well, according to this Business Insider article
that had an interview with Austin, he stated that the company had made over $30 million in sales revenue in 2021. Now, let's bear in mind one thing. Sales revenue does not... The point is, they likely didn't take home anywhere near $30 million. But still.
God fucking damn, you made that much money from making YouTuber Funko Pops? Look, I'm not a professional years, sales or profit revenue. That's still pretty impressive.
Alright, we get it. Just finish this stupid list.
Well, yeah. There's still
released. While this year had a lot of products for brands like Avatar, South Park, Five Nights at Freddy's, Spy X Family, Godzilla, Hatsune Miku, and so much more, they would also continue to make products for content creators like Jacksepticeye Geography, Nick830, Wendigoon, Ren and Link, Chad Skeppy, and many, many, many more. Even some very interesting releases. YouTube's Monopoly and Jenga, J-Schlot shoes and beanies, even an artist for YouTube's Castrology received their own plushie. And for 2023, there was around 649 different products, with brands and games such as Cult of the Lamb, Chainsaw Man, Bendy, and the Ink Goon. And they even experimented with releasing pins with figures. But there were some odd products, like the Carson Chia pets. Given the controversy that Carson had a couple years prior, it was a surprise that YouTube would to charity, but many still had conflicting opinions about the product, similar to the Poppy's Playtime figures, as Mob Games and Enchanted Mob have been under fire for their questionable acts. Like when the game initially blew up, they immediately started making merchandise, including NFTs, which are frowned upon by the majority of the internet. So the YouTube's collaboration was seen as a quick cash grab. Discord partner toy, variants of figures, a 6-pack of Five Nights at Freddy's gummies for $30, but by far their most controversial release would be with the Goober. The Goober figures were announced on October 22nd of 2021, but got so much backlash that the announcement tweet isn't even available anymore. Despite this, plans to release were still underway, as throughout 2022 and 2023, more information about the figures would be revealed. And on June 30th of 2023, Shiba and Cat Goober would release, to the dismay of many.
Well, they probably didn't want all that time wasted, so they released it anyways.
Can you let me about this? Figures releasing with pins have pretty much become the norm, and more collabs with big brands like Hatsune Miku, Futurama, and even Spider-Man of all things. But of course there's YouTubers, like who, as many people disliked how the design didn't look anything like the original art piece. But something to bear in mind is that many companies are at play to bring the figurine to life, but it's possible that the original drawing just didn't work as a figure. Ed Carmen's superhero persona is a slur, which is used against African Americans, so you can imagine why a tweet like this caused a lot of uproar. Now obviously they didn't mean any harm, but damn, like nobody saw this and thought it'd be a bad idea. Ultimately though, YouTube's played it off in a joking manner, which is probably the best thing they could have done. Just the figure was just a cooler looking version of the original Ghostface figure. More were upset that the figure was an in-store exclusive, meaning you had to live by the store if you even want a chance of getting the figure. Although the Exchange Twitter account would respond to this by explaining that, yeah, we don't sell online. And in response to someone saying it wouldn't sell well, they responded by saying, I'm confident it will. And that quote, it will sell enough. Honestly, a tiny bit unprofessional, but I found it kind of funny. So to support them, I bought the flocked Ghostface, even if Saw's better. But the last one is related to an NFT, and that's Betty.
Oh boy, here we go.
Betty is a figure made for the NFT Deadfellas, who's been worked on and even shown off in early 2022. But from missed deadlines and a long time of waiting, it seemed like the figure would never release, as later stated by Deadfellas co-founder Site that YouTubers wanted to move away from NFTs, but unknown to many, on May 14th of 2024, Betty would be released, but not on the YouTubers website, but on its own site. And on June 3rd of 2024, the previously mentioned co-founder's site took to the YouTube subreddit to explain some things, that YouTubers don't support NFTs, along with giving away a bunch of figures.
Now, for full transparency, I did contact the creator of the NFT, Psych, just to verify who he is and also get some more information about the figurine. And he even gave me a Betty NFT YouTubes, which I think is cool. Now, to be clear, obviously, I don't support NFTs. I think the concept of owning a picture is kind of dumb, but you know, a free figurine is a free figurine, you know? I'm not complaining in the slightest. Two of them.
Yeah, in total, if you include every figure, plushie, pin, board game, mug, and everything else, and also under V's guidelines, there is over 2,270 different products.
Have one.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of other things that I just didn't mention, like the life-size versions of certain YouTubers, Black Friday customs, and this puzzle, which, to be honest, I just don't know when it came out. Even then, there's a good amount of figures that I just didn't mention because what exactly am I supposed to say about Tucker the dog? Without further ado, let's finally buy some of the... Oh. Hey, Andrew, are you okay? No. Oh. You know, if you really need someone to talk to, you know, we're all here for you. Okay, I will. Have to buy from the website, you know, there are other avenues of buying YouTube figures.
Since the beginning, products are usually sold on the YouTube's website, but every now and then, some figures were exclusively sold on different sites, like the Nelk Boys, Dinosaurs, and any figure released with G Fuel. But these days, brand-related products have been made available on other company sites and in actual real-life stores, like only made available through these stores. But it's worth noting that aside from a few sales and shipping prices, the figures aren't really any cheaper. It's just another way of buying the products.
$20 in this fucking thing? Bird, where'd he go? Bird up. Bird up.
Why did you leave him at the mall?
I mean, think about it. Now the room is ours.
Burp, the rain washed away all the color in my sweater. Also, someone left me by myself at the mall.
Well, Andres, I hate to be the
They came out, and now I'm disappointed in myself.
Really?
I mean, yeah, but I'm way too deep into it, man. I can't stop.
With the amount of products that are out these days, I just buy them.
Clearly.
We are not.
Okay, wait,
precious
I didn't mean it
good
like that.
I try my best to buy every commentary-related figure, as I'm a big fan of the genre. Wendigoon, Emblemon, Keemstar, Nuxtaku, D'Angelo Wallace. I bought the majority of the Minecraft-related people, because I kinda have to. Dream, George Not Found, Sapnap, Quackity, Tommy Innit, Jack Menifson. I would get rid of them, but everyone else is already trying to do that. Of course, I own a lot of the other YouTuber streamer people. Ninja, Connor Eats Pants, Hugbox, FGT Boys. Although I don't really buy any of the brand or games-related products, because I could just buy the Funko Pop versions. Come on, some of these are cool sometimes. Foxy, Ghostface, Cult of the Lamb Guy, Eddie from Stranger Things, Yami Yugi. Then there's the big special ones, like Golden Chainsaw Man, and Golden Pochita, and Mewtwo's Hoodie, and Discord Partner, and Motivational Lizard. I love him so much. I do have some plushies. J Schlatt, Technoblade, Miku J Schlatt, Minx are my biggest, which don't get me wrong, I like them, but I kinda just have to put them in the corner of the room. I got Ellis Mark so Boblax can have a Sonic friend. I also have Jellybean because Dumpy made videos on them. In Dumpy we trust. I also own some of the Tally Hall people, and I will forever hate the fact that I never got the last two. Then there's Pochita, and I was surprised of how small it was. Around the south, I do have some of the fun game-related stuff, which is nearly impossible to play with birds.
Oh, you lost.
Lastly, I do own all three of the people who worked at YouTube, because I like Austin, everyone loves Todd, and I appreciate all the work that Castro does. Some of the beginning figures have more generic, simple poses, while many of the modern have very unique and interesting qualities. And the material of the figures feel a lot better. So much detail is put into both the figures and the boxes. Though, me personally, $30 plus $5 shipping is a bit much sometimes, but I think it's understandable given how much care is put into each product. Overall, I do think the products are cute and very well designed and made. I just think the prices are a bit too much sometimes. Regardless of what I think, YouTube have garnered a massive community, with people actively collecting and unboxing the products on their YouTube channels, posting them onto the YouTube subreddit, and in general have opinions. They think the products are of very high quality, and are worth the price given how much work is put into them. But there are some things that they want to see improved, like maybe some more communication to the community, or the shipping can be a lot faster.
Regardless, there are some figures that never saw the light of day.
No, this is all one bad dream. I refuse to believe you actually exist.
If it isn't clear already, YouTube's has been Captain Puffy, Snoopy flying on a barn. Like really, if I sat here naming every single unreleased product, we'd be here for a while. So here's just some of the cancelled YouTube's products. Deji, although already having a figure, a completely different toy could be seen in the background of a few of his videos, but was never properly announced or ever released. Although it is possible that this is just an earlier version of his figure, and they simply just didn't like it and eventually turned into the figure that we have today. Or it's also possible he's more well known for being the voice of Gumball, so it shouldn't be a surprise that when blurry concept art of his figure was shown, assumingly by accident, people can make out that Gumball was supposed to be a part of it. But since the character's from a popular TV show, and seeing how the figure never came out, they likely couldn't get the approval to include him, so it was scrapped. Yandere Simulator is a game where you play the girl who really likes a boy, so you kill anyone who gets in your way. At least I think. I mean, I don't know, I own a Mac, so I can't really tell you. With help from his audience and having multiple volunteers, he consistently made excuses as to why he couldn't finish the game, so it was a surprise that a figure based off the main character was set to release. But dude didn't even know how the figurine looked like until Yandere Dev himself showed it off. In the years since, Yandere Dev still hasn't finished the game, but also has been accused of heinous acts. And although we won't go into too much detail here, never released. But what I find more interesting are the creators that were offered their own products and yet denied it.
Again, the YouTubes, I'm not.
Flamingo, who as previously mentioned, has collabed with YouTubes on various different occasions, and he was meant to get more, which was a surprise to the people working at YouTube, as Albert never informed the company that he wanted to stop working with them, but a specific reason would be made clear a few months later. Do YouTubes anymore. Glad you finally got it though. It's clear that Albert doesn't want to work with the company anymore because of the negative experiences that his fans had, as I think even the most not making it clear with YouTubes that he doesn't want to work with them, it's just kind of dumb. Like, you mean to tell me he can't just tell them shit better L, massive L, bye bye. Okay, obviously not like that, but you know what I mean. Lastly, there's the case of the now deceased Too Mad. Although he's generally disliked by the majority of the current internet, back in 2019 and 2020, with his MLG style of editing and his loud things that just don't make sense humor, at the time he was an entertaining and one of the most beloved creators. So much so that he was one of the first creators to receive a figurine. And although everything seemed fine on the surface, Too Mad seemed to have a lot of resentment against the company, as on a stream that took place
I'm gonna shit talk YouTubes in a second.
after denying it, he goes on to make several claims against the company.
YouTube's the shittiest fucking... They have terrible business practice. It's fucking dog shit. And you know how I know that? It's because I'm shit talking them right now. I probably have thousands of viewers right now, and I've done it publicly on YouTube to shit talk them. Because they're dog shit, and they don't treat people right. Pretty sure there's some named Austin Long, some fuckhead behind Omnia Media. His name's Austin Long. He sucks. Yeah, YouTube's is dog shit because main reason is they're run by Omnia, and Omnia is just really terrible. You know, they're really scummy when it comes to making deals for people. I don't know if it's because they're comfortable doing it or what. It gave me a really bad cut on my YouTubes. So they're giving other YouTubers who are literally just my friends, giving them fucking $3 more than I was getting, because I was getting $7 per toy, and then there's YouTubers who are getting 10. Like, obviously it's like, it's not really a shitty thing to not, you know, give somebody a good contract, but you know, when you're doing something that has to do with creators, it's kind of weird that you're giving some people that and then somebody this. It's just a matter of like knowing. And YouTube is run by them. And when they come to, they just want to fucking milk me, like literally. I sold one YouTube, it sold fine. They only made 1,000 pieces, but it sold out. Give me the same split, $10 per toy, and they're like, nah, we can't do that. Oh, nah, fuck off. Fuck off. Literally die. And they're like, being a scumbag, like, you have a really cool business idea, you have people, good artists who can make really cool things, you have 3D modelers who can, you know, make really artistic, cool things that are original. Why be a scumbag and copy things and give people shitty splits? Like, you're just gonna have people like me shit talking.
Now, the claim of selling unlicensed toys is likely referred as new, and once the clip was posted onto the YouTube subreddit, Austin would respond, although it's somewhat unclear which Austin did, by first discussing the previously mentioned figures and noted that Austin Long does have some history with Omnia Media, so it's entirely possible that Too Mad saw this and got mistaken. Either way, YouTube is in no way owned by Omnia. Lastly, he talked about the payment, but Too Mad didn't even sell 1,000, so he didn't get the bonus money. Weird contracts aside, Too Mad was required to promote the figurine on his YouTube channel, and although from what I can find, he technically did, but I think they wanted more of an actual promotion and not just a throwaway 5 seconds at the end of the video. Despite the terrible that, and he's hated the company since. Look, in my silly little opinion, both sides have valid points. Tumed wanted to get paid as much as his peers, but and clearly wasn't in the best mental state.
So out of respect for his loved ones, I'll refrain from making any further speculations.
Oh, good thing that's the only big controversy they've been in.
Oh, dude, that's just the beginning of it.
You know, you are so incredibly lucky I don't just beat you up right now.
As of now, YouTube's been around for allegedly doing heinous acts. Ryan P, I'm Alex are just to name a few. Although, like I said, it was only after they worked with YouTube's, meaning the company had no possible way to know that these were allegedly YouTube's website. It's clear that they are aware of what their collaborators are doing publicly, and are willing to take swift action if they're doing anything out of line.
Alright, next I need someone who knows anything about business.
Sign, I guess I have to be here.
And I need someone to tell me when I'm being too mean.
Well, I will certainly do that.
How did I get so lucky with you guys?
How did we get?
Wow, you're such a good researcher. I'm being sarcastic since I know you can't tell.
Around June of 2021, social media accounts were being created for Uwoos, a new line of mini YouTube figures, as many people posted about it on the YouTube subreddit. And on the 24th of June, Alex would notice as well, as he would buy the uwoos.com domain, seemingly because YouTube just forgot to grab it in time. YouTube would message Alex showing interest in getting the site, to which Alex would respond by saying, "No thanks, I have other plans." And these plans would go into effect, as if he went to the website, this would show up, proclaiming, quote, YouTube's bad, and quote, they consistently delay figures and they turn out bad, stating, fuck YouTube's, and the other we're gonna have to censor was a screenshot of a adult film that had a YouTube's product. This would cause Alex to get banned from the YouTube subreddit, and YouTube even got in contact with Alex's mom and further elaborated on what happened. Quote, we're reaching out as it comes to our attention that someone ordering for your credit card has engaged in disparaging and defaming content against our brand. The instance of issue occurred yesterday and involved a webpage being made that featured explicit adult content. The webpage was promoted on our platform, which violates our terms of service around defamation and disparagement, end quote. Now, to be clear, the image itself didn't show anything super explicit, but the screenshot clearly being from an adult site we cannot name, I don't blame them for being upset. And YouTube, if someone didn't do something exactly like this. If the domain didn't have anything on it related to YouTube, we wouldn't have cared. Well, we work with many partners of varying sizes. Anything we stamp our name on, we have to protect and take care of the same way someone would want to take care of their own personal name. On top of that, YouTube's understandably
visit that aren't, you know, over 18. And it's very clear our rules that, like, we don't tolerate that at all. You know, like, we don't want people being put in a position where they could be exposed to something that isn't good.
After a few backs and forths, eventually Alex and his mom sold the domain to YouTube for around $500. And if you try going to the site today, it just takes you to the YouTube website. But there are some years old at the time of the situation. I'm just showing you this to prove that I did my research. It's been claimed that YouTube refunded orders because of the situation, but YouTube said they didn't. So who's right and who's wrong? Well, in the screenshot provided, only one of the two plushies were refunded. If YouTube's really were as upset as Alex claims, wouldn't they just refund both? Even then, this screenshot is cropped, so we're not able to see the date of when he received the email. As for the claim of Alex getting threatened with a lawsuit and his mom getting a cease and desist, yeah, there's nothing backing this up. Every email that his mom got weren't cease and desist letters, and YouTube have gone on to deny this on multiple occasions, and even further explain why this just doesn't make sense. Overall, if I have to side with someone, it has to be YouTube's. Look, I think they probably should have just bought the website before something like this could happen, but even then, I don't really see what they did wrong. What, they fought back after some annoying kid tried to make their company look bad? Is criticism valid? Of course. But everyone involved on Alex's side just didn't make them look good. Like, this Julian guy was consistently expecting the stuff to get so out of hand, but by spamming them in the replies of their tweets and playing victim when you were the one who started the situation doesn't give you a good look. In the years since, Alex has mainly moved on. Yeah, I'm definitely never gonna finish this fucking video. On October 1st, a tweet would come out saying that Roblox should sue YouTube. This is a situation spawned to it, advocating that YouTube deserve to hate, that he hopes that they get sued. And when questioned, Alex directly mentions his uwoos.com controversy. When he receives pushback, Alex still stands by his points that YouTube is bad because they're the evil company or whatever. Although the thread does help to confirm some things I mentioned, if we're looking at it in a logistical standpoint, think YouTube's, the company that wants to work with people like Stampy Cat and FGTV. You know, kids channels. Imagine the shock
the content creators when they find a website that has YouTube related content but also has an image which, although isn't explicit and doesn't show anything crazy, is strongly implied to be from an inappropriate website. Yeah, I don't think those kid-friendly YouTubers would want to work with YouTubes. As the guy who's been researching this and every other topic for months now, this is very disappointing. I gave Alex a lot of charity, but Alex is 16 now and he still acts like the same kid that he was 4 years ago, and still defends the situation that he started and is beyond knowing about.
As for whatever happened to Uwu's, although boxes containing the name have been seen, Uwu's were changed to the Twos figures.
And there is one more thing about art, but I don't think any of you know anything about that.
I do know Bird Up Son and niece love that kind of stuff.
Actually,
How long do we have to deal with this guy?
It's actually kind of fun when you're not complaining about it.
okay, well, look, we're talking about how YouTubes might have stolen some
Hey,
artwork,
look.
but hey, where'd they go?
Come on, Andres and Uncle Bird Up. There is just so much to talk about.
By far the biggest allegation YouTube have ever been accused of is stealing artwork,
With the first significant being for the Rambo plushie. On June 29th of 2021, Twitter user Min tweeted how similar the official Rambo plushie looks compared to their own drawing, although Min, and stating that they made sure that they didn't accidentally reference the art. Regardless, they still paid Min $500, and Austin himself went on to respond publicly and posted a video showing how the Rambo plushie was made, and also explained that the artist Castroology was a big fan of Rambo themselves, so they got to include certain details.
and looking at some of Castro's art of Rambo,
Things like the horn, freckles, and tails are present, just like how the plushie does. The point is, the designs are similar, but that's by completely wrong. As for Min, despite all the evidence showing that YouTube didn't copy his design, and also being very generous given the circumstances, Min has disliked the company since, and has claimed on multiple occasions that they are the original designer of the plushie. As for Rambo, he technically was involved,
since apparently he wanted to make sure everything was okay.
but Rambo hasn't made a new product with them since, and when questioned, he stated on Discord that, quote, "There is a reason why I have not done a YouTube drop in a while, and that's all I can say. Like, I can't just outright say some things, but just don't worry about it, trust me." Since the comment is somewhat vague, it's debatable if this has anything to do with the allegations of art theft.
It's likely Rambo asked them to pay, or maybe he offered, just proving how lovely and nice he is.
This was just the first, as it started a wave of other people to accuse YouTubes of stealing artwork. Eventually, Kulov gave him this, but Kulov pointed out that they were never contacted nor compensated by YouTubes, even though the concept art looked very similar to the official toy. Wait, what? Okay, look, YouTubes are made in collaboration with the YouTubers, so what likely happens is that they ask the content creators what they want in their toys, likely in a similar conversation that Kulov had with Tommy, and since he had a clear interest in making a figure, he would have likely thrown the same ideas to both people. But even then, the official figure and Kulov's drawing just don't really look similar. Of course, there's the obvious red shirt, blonde hair, and the music disc, but these are things that are expected to be a part of Tommy's figure, as these are things that Tommy are heavily associated with. That's like saying the Spyro YouTubes copied the design from the render of Spyro and Skylanders because they're both breathing fire. Like, no, Spyro is well known for shooting fire, so of course it's going to be a part of his figure. Even then, the Tommy YouTubes had a lot more differences, like the pose, having the vlog gun, having a diamond sword on his back, and Tommy doing a face. It's possible that Tommy might have shown one big miscommunication. Was the art used? Maybe, but even then, Tommy might have just gotten too excited to get a figure that he forgot to credit the artist. To be clear, it's entirely possible that it happened with time. It's just, this isn't really YouTube's fault, as they just listened to what the creators want on their toys. It is worth noting that as I was writing this script, Kulov decided to delete their tweet about the situation. Finding the old links just lead you to the dead tweets, but archives do exist of what was said, and he also forgot to delete this one. Although I couldn't find the reason for why he did this, I did find an old tweet of him at least admitting that it was a miscommunication. In a similar case what happened with Hannah Roses, they explained that Hannah herself had shown them Kat's design, and she was compensated and given credit on the figurines page. Last but certainly not least, there's the Technoplane.
This next one is our most significant accusation.
Yeah, I know, okay?
The same day the Tommy Innit post was made, a thread will be posted from Twitter user Sunny, alleged that their artwork of Technoplane, which was an emote that was made for Technoblade, was used to make the YouTubes, and when they reached out to the company, they gave credit on a now deleted Twitter account, and offered a free Technoplane. But when the Technoplane plushie was released, they weren't given credit. When Austin was asked, he stated that similar to already existing art, and since YouTubes have a history of wanting to support artists, that's likely what's going on here. But either way, wasn't this situation already resolved? And
In the thread, Sunny mentions that the account that was credited is an account that no longer existed, which got me wondering, why was that Twitter account taken down?
Well, Sunny, or Miles, was a Twitter artist, who from what I can tell was a fan of Technoblade, and had even drawn thumbnails for him, but on December 2nd of 2020 was called out for, get this, tracing, where they took someone else's. It was seen as more of a sorry I got caught. Sunny, Miles would private their Twitter account that same day, and would lose over 1,200 followers over the next few months. Although it did attempt to return around February of 2021, and change the account name to Winnie, and although it did receive some support, after enough public backlash and people understandably were still being critical of them, Sunny, Miles, Winnie would delete the account. This conflict would be brought up in the replies of the YouTube's credit thread, which Sunny would respond by saying, quote, "I've learned and grown from my mistakes," and also that, quote, "happened like over half a year ago at this point." Easy YouTuber apology joke aside, my point in bringing this up isn't to attack Sunny or to try to justify stealing artwork. Please do not do either. It's to bring up a long time ago and they learned from their mistakes, even though all they did was just apologize that they got caught and ran off to a different Twitter account. While YouTube's, a company that's been accused of stealing artwork multiple times, even though in most cases are either coincidences or big miscommunications, have gone on to great lengths to ensure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen, by having over 20 different artists on their design team and consistently uploading TikToks of how they make their products, still gets accused of stealing art.
Wait, I'm confused. If all this stuff is out there, then how come people aren't talking about it?
Well, yeah. That's sort of the main issue with all these different situations. Many of the people who make long Twitter threads or videos about YouTubes mentioning these situations either don't include certain information, such as Goovoid and Jalen, as both didn't mention why the Uwu's website was taken down, and their only proof that this even happened was one tweet giving a brief explanation of what happened. That also includes YouTubes and fan art both have the same pattern in the crown. That is, until you realize that the figurine also followed the same pattern, of a red gem in the middle, then a green gem being placed on both sides, and the figurine continues that pattern throughout the entire crown. What likely happened is that the artist saw that the figurine had this pattern, and to keep it consistent, simply applied this pattern to the plushie. Don't get me wrong, companies acting in malicious ways definitely happens. But with YouTubes, that's just not the case. Coincidences happen, and people have the same ideas. To me, I think the majority of the people mentioned are likely just kinda dumb and didn't think realistically if what they're saying actually made sense. Look, companies, people, literally anything are not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, it's simple human nature. But when people mess up, you have to give them a chance to do better, and YouTubers have taken those chances and improved. I understand why people get mad at this kind of stuff, but come on dude, it's been like 3 years, find something new to complain about. To give a big TL after they worked with the company, YouTube took down a website because a 12-year-old took the name of an upcoming product for the URL, but put an image from an inappropriate website on it, which from a professional standpoint not only didn't really steal any artwork, as all the situations were either major coincidences or the creators might have shown the artwork to the company, so they had an idea of what they wanted their toys to look like. And even then, over the past 3 years, YouTube have gone to great lengths to ensure that ArtFest doesn't happen. They've clearly shown that they're willing to improve and learn from their mistakes. It's been a long time since these allegations popped up, but people are still running with this narrative that YouTube is a big evil company that harm innocent people.
Wow, Andres, you actually thought logically. I'm so incredibly proud of you.
Yeah, I'm really passionate when it comes to dumb, stupid plastic.
Well, we can now finally relax.
Whoa, okay, look, no, we're not done just yet. Yeah, I'm sorry, they're just being really loud. It's okay. I'm just kind of surprised how empty your room is. Like, really, do you just not like anything?
Nothing is perfect. Even the things that I like have problems. Avoiding some of the more obvious issues. First off, why is there so much shit to buy? If you're a person who likes to collect anything, you'll know the anxiety feeling of, oh wow, I have all the figures and Imaginators. Wait, I don't have Choppy Mage. Is it a first world problem? Well, yeah, but let me have my fun. You want to have every single different product that's been released. But with YouTubes, it's just almost impossible. As previously stated, there's over 2,200 different products, and with most of them at an average price of $30, you can see how somewhat unreasonable or very expensive this is for the average collector. Now, to be clear, I understand that most people just buy 2 or 3 of their favorite content creators, and maybe 1 or 2 of the products for like the Five Nights at Freddy's. Pay $30 for a set of 5 pins? But I only want Golden Freddy. Well, you can buy that for $10. Then there's the mugs. Like, do you really expect me to say, look at me with my Animal Crossing mug, the mug that works perfectly fine and I love so much?
but goddamn that Godzilla mug looking real nice.
Honestly, they look pretty good, but the price is just kind of questionable. Oh, what about the twos figures? Smaller figures that have very basic designs. I understand if it was maybe $15, but no, $25. You might as well just buy a normal figure. Then there's the keychains. As mentioned before, the first keychain was for dead meat, for around $10, but I could understand how this one is just not really profitable. But why are these things $25 now? Look, I get it. Making products cost money, and I understand that at the end of the day, both the creators, brands, and YouTubers need to get their profit. But do you really expect people to have this much money? Especially with how many products released these days. For example, on May 24th of 2024, YouTubers Chezzer and Vidal would be released, alongside free figures for Hatsune Miku, including Garfield Miku, Glittery Hatsune Miku, and Illuminate Jenny Miku, with 2 plushies of a snake and a cat also coming out. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that. But on top of that, a new wave of products based off the characters from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie would be released, including figures of Mike, Vanessa, Doug, and 2 versions of William Afton, plushies of Springtrap, Balloon Boy, Mike, and Abby, and a set of 5 pins bundled in one box. YouTuber Alan Becker would be released, including free plushies and free monitor buddies. And later that same day, the Peanut Butter XR for YouTubers would be released. That's 26 products all released on one weekend. Don't you think that's a bit much? My point is, too much stuff is releasing and costing so much that there's practically no point in actively collecting these things anymore.
You know you don't have to buy all them.
Remember earlier when Austin said that they wanted to, quote, support as many creators as possible? So did they live up to that?
No, they
Brands, games, and companies to work with. It seems like YouTubers are just kind of an afterthought. I mean, just look at the front page. Of the 48 products, only 14 are related to content creators, as the rest are for shows and games like Hell of a Boss, Minecraft, Cuphead, and SpongeBob. And if we're looking at all the products, in April 2019 to April 22nd of 2022, a majority were YouTuber related, while brands, games, companies were only a smaller but decent amount. But looking at it for the year since, it's the complete opposite. In putting them together, all the games, companies, products, then content creators. And honestly, I don't blame them. Considering the bad reputation that some content creators get years after their products are released with YouTubers, even if they weren't aware of their wrong in literally seconds. Then there's Jacksepticeye, where a lot of his products are still available on the site since November of 2023. It's likely the reason why they started using this timer thing. And maybe Crash Bandicoot and Five Nights at Freddy's toys just sell better. But isn't that the point of YouTubers? Like, it's U2s, you know, like YouTubers.
Yeah, this is kind of annoying, but they just want to make money, so whatever. There is one issue that I feel like is fairly important, and I feel like is ruining the identity of YouTubes. Did you just talk? Whatever. Look, it's the YouTube's eyes.
When making a product that's collectible, it's important to make sure the consumer is aware of who's making the product. For example, Funko Pops have black eyes on every figure. YouTubes, although near the beginning didn't have this, as they continued to make products, they were building a clear identity that...
Confused? Yeah, just let me explain, okay?
On certain products, YouTube's eyes are hidden quite well, or flat out just don't have the eyes. Just look at any of the Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, or Hell of a Boss toys. Even some of the content creators ones have these, like the VTubers and FGTV. The YouTube's eyes blend in with the pupils, and I think it's just so people don't complain because technically the eyes are there. But then there's the products that just don't have the eyes, like the entire South Park line. Now look, inherently, I get it. Maybe certain people just don't like the eyes, and I would understand if these were maybe these figures stand out compared to Funko Pops. Because let me ask you, would you rather buy a Deku figure for $30 just to wait months for it to show up, or go to GameStop and buy a cooler looking one for half the price? Of course, at times the designs of YouTube figures are beyond better than Funko's. It just seems like they're turning into a generic figurine company, as they're slowly but surely losing what made them so unique.
Okay, I'm being kind of dramatic, but those were my issues with YouTube.
Jesus Christ, dude, you gotta shut up, man. Like, you've been going on about this for
Andres! Jesus Christ. Hello, Andreas.
Andres, I've been seeing you in like a year, dude. Where have you been?
Oh, you know, just hanging on my table. Mainly from you. Say, do we have any friends outside of this?
Alright, this wasn't some kind of ew. If you want a product that's in stock on the YouTube website, they're usually around $29.99 each with $5 shipping. But if we're talking resale value, any product that is in stock on the YouTube websites or content creators that fell out of popularity or other reasons, all resell lower than the original asking price, as many sell for as low as $10 to maybe around $25. Some do retain their value if the product is of a person who's beloved by many or the product is sold out, as they go for around $30 to $80. $80. But if the product was unique, had a low amount of units made, or were only available for a short amount of time, they could possibly go for over $100. But bear in mind that prices change a lot, as figures that were worth something a couple years ago are now sitting at the lowest they've ever been, so buy at the right time. Overall, U2's is not the worst figurine company. Throughout the years, it's fairly apparent that they know how to handle criticism, and have either learned from their mistakes and improved,
or tried to make something positive out of a negative situation.
But they also aren't perfect. To be clear, if you don't like U2's because they have everything is black and white, sometimes there's more to a story than what's being told. And even if there are mistakes, let them at least try to learn from their wrongdoings. But many people just don't really care about the truth. So although they might not be the worst, U2's is the controversial collectibles company.
Well, now that's all done and over with. What are we gonna do? We can't keep all these stupid toys and plushies.
You know, Bird Up? I have an idea. Hello, I'm Andres.
And I'm Bird Up.
Have you ever wanted a dog, but with a hat? Well, you interested? Well, Bird Up, it didn't work, but at least we have a bunch of cool toys.
You are so lucky that you don't pay the bills around here.
I know. Well, buddy, I'll see you in a couple months.
Use my Fortnite code. Die.
Today we're continuing our years-long journey of trying to perfectly preserve a pumpkin in resin. And this year,
Freeze dry, freeze dry, freeze dry.
oh god,
Freeze dry, freeze dry, freeze dryer, freeze dry.
And this year, we're gonna listen to the thousands of you guys who have been telling us to freeze dry the pumpkin first.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for all your website needs.
Dun, 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 dun. First, they freeze an item, then they pull a vacuum, then they heat that item, which sublimates any solid frozen water into gas. Poof.
this method of drying helps the item retain its original shape much better than how we dehydrated Bean here.
Bean is our past attempt at removing moisture from a pumpkin before preserving him in resin. We tried dehydrating him with salt, which got out some, but not all of the moisture, and he's holding up decently aside from the mysterious crust we have to scrape off him every 6 months. After Bean, we tried covering the pumpkins in so much resin that the moisture wouldn't matter, but they still ended up rotting in their resin prisons. So we're going back to moisture removal in the most extreme way possible, a freeze dryer.
But the problem with freeze dryers is that the shelves look like this. They're meant to hold a lot of individual items, but you can't fit a pumpkin in here.
This size already costs $2,500, so we're not getting a bigger one.
It's $2,500.
I thought I told you.
You might have, but this was so long ago, I kind of forgot.
It'll be worth it though, right guys? It'll be worth it.
Since we've never used this machine, we wanted to get some advice from our friend Nate from the internet, who's done a lot of freeze drying before.
Well, we wanted to thank you again for doing the test that you ran earlier with the pumpkins. Like that gave us so much more confidence to do this project overall.
I am very interested to see how it turns out with a whole pumpkin, because everything I did was on like sliced up tests. It's not terribly quick because pumpkins have so much moisture in them.
Yes.
To really get the water out, my recommendation would actually be to poke holes in the skin all over the entire pumpkin. You should start with something called cactus juice. That is a resin that is designed to get sucked into blocks of wood.
I know that Total Boat makes a penetrating epoxy that is super, super thin.
Well, I would definitely do a small scale test with that if you have time. If you could get it down to like 1/2 inch thick walls, that would help a lot, I bet. I know it's possible. How to make it work well?
That's
I don't
up to
know
us.
yet. I'm looking forward to watching your video to learn how.
Thank you.
Oh yes, I'm sure it will be very informative and official.
Well, this makes us feel a lot better going into this. Thanks so much for your time.
Good to see you guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.
So we're going to start with 4 small scale tests. One that's a 1/4 inch, one that's a 1/2 inch, and then another 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch, but with holes poked in them.
I'm really excited. Like, this is finally happening.
I know.
Ooh, you're making progress.
I don't want to cut any parts of my body off. No.
I was thinking of getting a saw, but like, you might be able to do it. But should I get a saw?
Do you want to get a saw?
Yeah. Also, I wasn't filming any of that. We'll just cut through this first bit.
Oh, you're going into the whole pumpkin.
I just want to make sure that was through the wood part.
Would it be good for the whole pumpkin?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like butter.
Oh my gosh. You do it. It's so fun. It's really fun.
Are you filming?
I'm filming this time.
There we go.
I think I'll get it one day.
You know, I never cut a pumpkin in this way before. I feel like I'm learning things.
We came up with what we think might be a unique way to add a lot of holes to a pumpkin. Because we don't want to like poke it with like a toothpick. He'll look like he has like acne.
Gross.
We don't want like a teenager, a hormonal pumpkin. We want a beautiful.
Very clever idea. I was also very surprised.
Oh, shoot.
Gosh.
All the needles are bent. No. There's spider stuff on it now. Hey, it'll be fine.
Oh my god. Heaven's Chaos Salon. He throws the tools before he uses them on you. I wonder if this is how they do it.
Spa day.
Yeah, it's a little spa day. Can you see if they're going in deep enough?
I think that they just barely
Yeah.
go through.
They
I see
might.
it. I see it.
I'm trying to
wait.
wait.
I know what to do. Wait. I'll be back. I'll take any excuse to justify my
The call's coming from the house.
I'm gonna cover your eyes.
What?
I know this is so unnecessary, but I just get like proud of the things that I make.
Can I look? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I can see.
Look at that.
No, this is great. This is great. This is great.
I think some of them do go like all the way in.
Oh, it's so satisfying. I think it's good enough that it's worth doing and continuing. Like we said, we don't want it to visibly look like it has a bunch of holes in it.
This is doing something.
It
I
is.
have confidence that it's doing something.
We've confirmed it. It was worth all of your effort and owning all of these things. It was worth it.
I love hearing that. Thanks for making me happy.
Now that we have our sample pieces ready and we've given half of them a very extensive facial treatment, it's time to move on to the freeze dryer. The first part of freeze drying is freezing. This thing can do it, but it's often recommended if you have something that is super moist or you want to be more time efficient, that you freeze it yourself before putting it in there. So we could put it in our freezer, or
we could dip it in liquid nitrogen.
Guess which one we're gonna do.
Hey, we're saving time.
We're being efficient. Let's not think about the time it took to drive and go fill up the liquid nitrogen.
Let's
it's
not.
still more efficient.
It's still more efficient.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see anything.
No, you can't. But I hear it.
Blowing it just doesn't do anything.
No.
Oh, you can see it. See, you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah. But I can like feel the coldness releasing.
Whoa, look at that.
Whoa, smoking.
I could probably drop it on the ground and shatter it into thousands of pieces. Oh, it cracked. Look, there's a crack.
Oh no.
It's cracking right now.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is that because it froze too fast or because it...
Probably because it froze too fast.
Okay, so...
Maybe we do just freeze it normally.
We're learning lessons.
Yay.
It's crazy how much it just evaporates away.
Oh, this one. Oh, it's cracking in real time.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
jeez.
It's just, we're learning lessons. We're learning.
Do you want some help?
It's sealed on me. Oh, it's sealed because of the pressure of the cool. Oh,
because it's cold.
It pulled it. It pulled it in because it was sealed. Okay.
It's being so Halloween-y.
Okay.
Wow, it's such a funky pattern of smoke on top of this. It's like it's floating on top.
You know, the good news is we're already learning so much.
We're already learning so much. But Nate said that he needed about 3 full days or something like that. I think let's start with 1 day and check in tomorrow.
And I have thoughts. They look like crackers. They got so dry, especially the thin one. Look at it.
Well, I think the microneedling did something, perhaps. So both of these were the microneedled. Well, this is interesting. We must have missed those spots.
I didn't go over those ones as much because they had the hard parts and I didn't want to break the needles.
Now, these do seem very dry, which is incredibly promising.
But it definitely messed with the texture.
Wow.
Whoa. That's the non-microneedled.
This broke because of the liquid nitrogen, though.
This side of it is wild looking. So that's our most like untouched pumpkin. This is very unexpected.
That is super dry. So encouraging, but complete failure.
Not a complete failure.
This would none of these are what I wanted. I think we need to do this exact same test again, but without the liquid nitrogen.
I think you're right. It was just too violent of a freeze.
I mean, I was excited about it. It was exciting. It was cool, but it destroyed these.
It destroyed.
Let's just like use it as it was supposed to be used.
Okay. See what the supervisor thinks?
Oh, yes.
5th time's the charm.
She completes the Halloween vibe.
Yeah, she's my little Halloween girly.
Oh, yes. All right, let's see how test 2 has gone.
I have not looked today. I'm kind of worried. So far, they look the same.
Oh. I don't think that we can do the microneedling.
I don't think we can either. This one, it's like...
It looks like a basketball, right?
It does. Like the holes are more pronounced because it was the longer needle.
Now let's see if the microneedling was even needed.
That does look better. This one had a little bit of cracking, but I think it's better.
Like the whole point of us preserving a real pumpkin is for it to look like a real pumpkin. If it looks this bad, we should have just bought a styrofoam pumpkin.
We don't speak of that. That defeats the whole purpose.
Okay.
That defeats my entire existence.
Erase this. Erase that thought. Erase that thought. I just want to get a cross section right now. This is feeling very promising. It's just like we created so many problems for ourselves that we tried to pre-solve. We could have just tried sticking it in. What if in the end we don't do any of the things we thought of?
What if we don't even need to thin it out at all? We just leave it at its regular thickness. Oh no, but we're learning things. We'll let these get to room temperature to see if this moisture gets worse or not, and then we'll decide what to do next.
Yeah. All right, so it's been more than an hour. It's been like 8. And it's now 10:15, but the good news is it's not as perfectly dry, but it's still quite dry.
Okay.
You can. I am not. I am not.
It smells kind of good.
Smells good? Dehydrated pumpkin. What's the verdict?
Kind of tastes like nothing / a leaf. I think it's totally dry enough.
It passes the test. We didn't need to do any of this. We could have just carved it and stuck it in.
It's fine. Shall we introduce you to this year's pumpkins? We have...
The chosen one of this year. Sprout!
Sprout will be getting resin. Sprout, we thought it made sense because our last dehydrated pumpkin was bean. And this guy's little, so he's like a bean sprout.
Yeah, that's cute.
And then we have our control pumpkin, which will still be dehydrated, but will not be resined. And he is Squeak.
Squeak!
Because that's the noise he's going to make when he finds out he's not getting resin.
Speaking of fun, cute pumpkin designs, Caitlin, tell me about that super cool t-shirt you're wearing, which you can get at shopevanandcaitlin.com.
This is a t-shirt with all of our pumpkins, the successes and the failures since we started this. This is year 5 of doing this tradition. But that's not all. In addition to our pumpkin-themed merch,
that she definitely knocked off the tree.
Then we have 2 Ode to Resin designs. One with this cute illustration of Jube on the front, vibing to some do resin time and sheet music on the back, and one that's more subtle with just the sheet music on the front.
We've also got a shirt featuring our totally normal gingerbread men.
They're anatomically correct. And we had to add a cozy, holiday sweater-inspired Words Are Hard tee. But we also have this metal Words Are Hard design, inspired by the band tees I wore in high school.
To get these before Christmas, order by December 10th if you're in the US or EU, December 6th for everywhere else.
The Jube sweater takes a bit longer, so order it by November 15th for standard shipping or November 23rd for extra.
YouTubers.
As always, we are cutting a hole in the butt because we want to be able to put a light in these guys at the end.
This won't hurt for a bit.
This won't hurt a butt. Oh, wait.
It made a butt.
No, hey, he had a butt before. Look at that. What is that? If that's not a butt right there, then what is it? You just made it bigger.
I wonder how pumpkins grow, because they're attached here, right?
Yes.
So what even...
You know, with all living organisms, nutrients have to come in and nutrients go out.
The nutrients don't come out of the...
around live pumpkins.
I should have put a drop cloth down. Maybe some pumpkins will grow and we won't need to buy them next year.
And then we can see what the butts are for. And yeah, and what comes out.
Caitlin, sometimes she does get something in her head and she can't let it go. Do you want me to help with the butthole?
I can add my own, thank you. So I put it in reverse first?
No.
Don't laugh. I need love. Can you hold the pumpkin? God dang it! Okay, here's where it gets serious, you guys. I don't want to get guts on my beautiful Evan and Caitlin shirt from shopevanandcaitlin.com. Are you sure I shouldn't go reverse?
However you want to do it, babe. Run in reverse.
Oh, why didn't you tell me that initially?
Because I like watching you struggle just a little bit.
I'm gonna go reverse. You know, we're skipping workout tonight.
Pull it, sir.
Yes! How long were you gonna let me struggle?
Long enough.
Until you said something.
I wanted to let you do it your own way.
I don't have a way! So, baby.
Yeah?
How's your evening been?
Stressful. Just being real.
Not because of this. This is the least stressful part.
This is really nice and calming.
This is like a good break for my brain.
Yeah. I wonder if all pumpkins are born with all of their seeds. The seeds get bigger and the pumpkin gets bigger, but there's a set amount of seeds per pumpkin. Or do pumpkins keep on growing more seeds?
I don't know. Someone's gonna let us know in the comments.
Pumpkin
lore.
That's the most interesting thing about being a YouTuber. No, that's not. There's a lot of interesting things about being a YouTuber. But one of the most interesting things about being a YouTuber, especially in our space...
If only we did projects like the exact same way multiple times.
Would be so much better.
Yeah, we'd get so much better the second time.
The best way to learn if you're right or not is to state your opinion online. The fastest way to become an expert at something is to be the only one doing it. If this works well, do you think like in the future we should do a massive one?
If the people demand it, then we have no choice.
Yeah, but we can cut this part of the video.
Yeah, exactly.
And never tell them. Don't worry, this won't hurt much.
POV, Evan is your dentist. We can never go back to carving like normal.
This is too satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Say ah.
Ah! Don't say that. That sounds wrong.
Why do you look so surprised?
He looks good! Ah,
Look
they're so cute!
Look at our sons.
Sleep well, Squeak. Sleep well, Sprout. Now, even though it's 11:08,
we're not going to be sleeping well.
Time for one more small scale test and...
Oh, that's when we play resin time.
Resin time, resin time, resin time.
Alright, so we thought about testing 3 different epoxies, but we narrowed it down to just 2.
So we're going to be trying penetrating epoxy, which should really soak into this dry pumpkin.
Wow, look at that. Look at that.
Oh, it's soaking. Oh, it's so thirsty. But we're also not sure how strong that'll actually make the pumpkin or how far it'll soak in. So we're also going to test our normal slow cure resin, doing a coat of that.
We thought this would be the gentlest way to go about it. Now this is a decent amount thicker.
I don't know if this will go as deep though. Yeah, I'm going to have to like specifically apply every time we email Total Boat. I'm just like, what are they going to say this time?
We have a new idea.
Welcome to another episode of Love Peninsula. Will our contestants find true love?
Hi, I'm Dave, and I am a marine biologist, and I love romantic swims.
I got all this potential that's deep inside of me.
Hi, I'm Candy, and I'm a professional British voice actress. And I'm just here to find a husband.
Hi, I'm Chad, and I'm unemployed.
I'm Becca, and in the past, if I saw a red flag,